Hello, so I've been getting some nice comments recently. I really appreciate it because that's my reward. I don't make any money from making these videos to help people with tinnitus. And I'm also not a doctor, but it seems like people have been very thankful for the advice I've given, or maybe just giving them some comfort to know that things can get better. Because when I had tinnitus, I didn't even realize it, but I already had like an anxiety problem, and I didn't realize that either. And when you put those two things together, oh my gosh, it was not good. And I was just hopeless. I really, truly believed that I had reached a point in my life where I would never recover back to a good quality of life again. And I did. I'm okay. So I want to tell you about it and tell you what I did and give you some encouragement that even if you have this sound that's going on and you can't stop thinking about it, one day you probably can. And I try to tell you the things that I think might help you to do that faster. Though it doesn't always happen in like one day. I wish it did, or else I wouldn't need to have this channel, would I? If we could just make it all go away in one day. But so many people have gotten better, and it just took time. Some of it is dealing with their own problems, anxiety problems. Some of it is time. And some of it is just learning some strategies to face it and get better. So, unfortunately, I, like most people, there's a few exceptions, I still have the sound. But just the way I relate to the sound is different. And I really didn't think that would be possible. I thought, I'm just always going to hear it, and I'll always be thinking about it, and, you know, I don't hear it. So I'm so thankful for that. So anxiety, sleep problems. Let's talk about that a little bit. I didn't realize that I had an anxiety problem, but even before I had tinnitus and COVID, I would let things really bother me. I would get where I thought about them all the time. And then it would be so bad that I would just drive myself into anxiety. I remember even a couple times before this COVID, I went to the dentist, and one of them took my blood pressure right before they were going to do some surgery on me. And they said, we're not going to do the surgery because your blood pressure is too high. And I had just worked myself into a frenzy because I'm very healthy. I have great blood pressure, but you know, anxiety can do that. It can make you, at least temporarily, have high blood pressure, which I did, you know. And then I learned to not be so anxious. And tinnitus sort of helped me to do that. So what can we say? What is anxiety? Well, I mean, a lot of it is what we call ruminating thoughts, where you're just thinking about the same thing again and again and again, and you can't seem to break out of that pattern. And with tinnitus, you hear the sound and you just keep thinking about it, and you can't break out of it. So first, it's good just to know that, even if you don't know how to solve it yet, that is a big part of the problem. We can't seem to find a cure for tinnitus, unfortunately, but we certainly have just millions and millions of people where they got a lot better and they're living a normal life. So with anxiety, it's good to know what it is. And what it is you're thinking about the same thing again and again. So you have to catch that. You have to catch that and say, wait a second, I'm thinking again and again. So I've got to find some ways to start interrupting this. And I've got to start, I mean, for me, you know, I drew, this is another thing I do a lot. I write Chinese, and I've written pages and pages of Chinese because of the need to divert myself from my anxious thoughts. I had to find something to do with my time, and I've written, oh my gosh, I don't know, at least 1 million Chinese like little characters. One, you know, I think more than that. I've drawn a few hundred drawings. And just learning to get your mind doing something besides think about that thing. You know, I've said this a few times. Don't think about tinnitus. Don't think about tinnitus. Well, you're thinking about tinnitus, aren't you? So if you're trying not to think about something, that doesn't work very well either. So you have to find some activities you can get involved in where you're really pushing your brain to try to do that thing, even though it's hard when you're so stuck in anxiety and you can't break out of it. But you've got to start interrupting and say, wait a second, I know what anxiety is. It's thinking about the same thing again and again. So I'm going to start reading a book, and I'm going to read this book. I'm going to keep reading this book. I'm going to read it and then read it some more and read it until, you know, I'm not going to think about the other thing. You know what I mean? It's like you got to get your mind into that little mode. I'm going to write Chinese characters. I'm going to keep writing them. I'm going to write them. I'm going to copy. I've got this thing over here. I'm copying from this place to this place, and my mind is responsible for copying those Chinese characters or drawing this drawing and copying a drawing. You know, you see what I mean? Like, it's like I'm getting my mind really stuck as much as I can into doing some other thing. And I'm learning to train my brain to be able to do that. And tinnitus actually has helped me to be able to do that better because of the problem that it presented to me. So this is one strategy that can really help you with anxiety, is finding things to do where you have to use your brain in some other way that's not thinking about those anxious thoughts. I'll tell you this, I won't get too much into sleep on this video, but if you're able to do that more, where you get your brain thinking about something, then the sleep's very, very likely to improve too. Because if you spend all day just worrying and being anxious, it's going to be pretty tough by the time you get to sleep. That's why it is good to read a book before you go to sleep, or find some other activity where you sort of use your brain in a way where you're just thinking about something that's maybe not very important, but you're just doing it. Sometimes, I mean, this is my own unique thing because I know you guys don't write Chinese characters, but as I'm going to sleep, I'm imagining drawing the Chinese characters with my finger, but I'm not actually using my finger, but in my brain, I'm imagining drawing like the characters that are inside of a sentence. You could try doing that with English too, couldn't you? You know, you could imagine writing English words and just, it's just something to, a type of meditation to get your brain on something besides those repetitive thoughts that you're having. And the more you can get good at this, not only will you be able to not even notice tinnitus anymore after a while, that's my take, I believe that to be true, you'll just get where you can focus on things better, you know? Even when that notification comes through on your phone that says, you owe a lot of money, you'll be like, okay, I owe a lot of money, but I'm doing this right now. And when I get done, I'll look into that. You know what I mean? It's like you get where you can decide you're thinking about something right now, and then you think about that thing, and you can live a more purposeful life. So, okay, that's my video for today, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.